And we welcome you to X Stadium for the 85th National Baseball Congress World Series. This is Frank Martinez. I will be your play-by-play announcer for tonight's game. We got a great one here tonight, as it will be the second semifinal game. It will be between the Seattle Washington Studs and the San Diego California Stars. The visiting team will be the Seattle Washington Studs. They come in with an overall record of 33-11. And they are 3-2 here in the World Series as they come out of pool number A. They lost 5-4 to the Diamond Dogs. They won 2-0 versus the Texas Express, and then they lost 9-8 to the San Diego Waves. And then in bracket play, they defeated the Cyclones from Colorado 15-0, and then they defeated the defending champion Santa Barbara California Forsters 5-0 last night. So once again, they are 3-2 here in the World Series. They will face the San Diego California Stars. Here's the starting lineups for tonight's game. First of all, for the Studs, leading off and playing second base will be number 4, Kyle Strash. Batting second will be the shortstop, number 5, Gavin Grant. Batting third will be the third baseman, number 28, Colin Wolf. Batting fourth and DHing will be number 34, Jack Pauly. Batting fifth and playing first base will be number 25, Ryan Butnick. Batting sixth and catching will be number 26, Brock Gagliardi. Batting seventh and playing right field will be number 3, Henry Cheney. Batting eighth and playing left field will be number 6, Kyle Bowe. Batting ninth and playing center field will be number 16, R.J. Green. And pitching for the Studs will be number 9, David Benson. The head coach for the Studs is Barry Aiden, assisted by Stephen Potter, Chris Remington, and David Benson. And now here's the starting lineup for the home team, the San Diego California Stars. Leading off, the Stars, by the way, are 3-2 here in the World Series, as they won 4-1 in the first game on Friday, August the 2nd against the BJs. Then they lost to the Lone Star from Texas by the score of 6-5. Then they lost again by the score of 2-1 to the Derby Twins. But they end up where they were the third place team on the Pool D, as they were 1-2. And then in bracket play, they beat the Fairbanks, Alaska Gold Panthers 6-1. Actually, they beat the Great Bend Batcats 6-1 first on August the 7th, and then on August the 8th, they did beat the Fairbanks, Alaska by the same score of 6-1, and that leads them here into the semifinal game against the Studs. Here's the starting lineup for the San Diego Stars. Leading off and playing center field will be number 1, Kyle Pineda. Batting second, the right fielder, number 17, Cabot Van Til. Batting third and playing third base will be number 11, Joey Krug. Batting fourth and DHing, number 19, Dallas Seidel. Batting fifth and playing second base will be number 33, Brady Jocelyn. Batting sixth and playing first base will be number 2, Jesse Jenner. Batting seventh and catching will be number 13, Luke Arias. Batting eighth and playing left field will be number 20, Ryan Cope. Batting ninth and playing shortstop will be number 3, Tristan Salinas. And pitching for the Stars will be number 46, Trevor Elliott. The coaching staff for the San Diego California Stars is Mickey D, Sam Hughes, and Anthony Fernandez. So we're about ready to go. Let me see if I can get you the umpires for today's game. Today's game, our umpires at home plate will be Josh Shepis. At first base, Jeff Spisak. At second base will be Mark Huseman. And at third base will be Lance Vaughn. So both these two teams are trying to get into the championship game, as they will be facing the Cheney Diamond Dogs, who defeated the Kansas Cannons here in the feature game by the score of 13-3. as the Cannons scored 3 runs on 8 hits and 3 errors, and the Cheney Diamond Dogs scored 13 runs on 15 hits and no errors. And our first batter for the Seattle Washington Studs will be the second baseman, number 4, Kyle Strash. Once again, pitching. For the San Diego Stars will be number 46, Trevor Elliott. Elliott is a right-handed thrower from Campo, California. He's a 6'2", 205-pounder from San Diego Mesa College. First pitch is ball 1 by Elliott. That one in there for strike 1. And at this time, our radar gun is inoperable. For some reason, it does that every once in a while, but it's not working. As soon as it does, I'll let you know what the speed rate is. That one missing for ball 2 now to Kyle Strash. Strash once again comes in batting .364 as he's played in 4 games. That one fouled off by Strash. Been up the bat 11 times, has 4 hits, has scored 5 runs, 1 RBI. Does have a slugging percentage of also .364. Does have 8 base on balls and 2 hit batsmen and 1 strikeout. So the count now goes full, 3-2 now to Kyle Strash, as we are just beginning the ball game here in the top half of the first inning. If you're just now joining us, we hope you enjoy it. Once again, this is Frank Martinez. Will be your play-by-play announcer tonight. We hope you enjoy it. And here's Elliott's pitch. That one missing high for ball 4 at 74 miles an hour. So moving over to first base will be Kyle Strash as he leads off with a base on balls. That will bring up the shortstop, number 5, Gavin Grant. Grant comes in batting .286. He's appeared in 4 ball games, been up the bat 14 times, has 4 hits, 3 runs scored, and 1 RBI. First pitch is 84-mile-an-hour fastball missing for ball 1. Strash at first base as he just walked to start off the ball game. The Stars are wearing white pants with red sleeves and black jerseys with red sleeves, red numbers, have black caps with a red bill on them. And the Seattle Studs have their white pants with black jerseys here tonight and black helmets. That pitch missing high for ball 3, so the count is 3-0. That one was an 85-mile-an-hour fastball, but just missing high. So 3 balls, no strike to Gavin Grant, who is the second batter here in the inning. That one missing high for ball 4, so not a very good start there by Trevor Elliott, as he has walked the first 2 batters. The nerves probably just getting to him just a little bit as the coaching staff comes out to talk to him. Elliott comes in with a 3.00 ERA. He has had 1 appearance as he went 3 innings, gave up 1 hit, 1 run, 1 earned run, 2 base on balls, and 2 strikeouts. So the nerves are just eating him up right now as he walks the first 2 batters. That will bring up the third baseman, number 28, Colin Wolf. Wolf comes in batting .231. He's also appeared in 4 ball games. And here's Elliott's pitch. That missing outside for ball 1, an 84-mile-an-hour fastball. Wolf has been up to bat 13 times, has 3 hits, has scored 4 runs, and has a total of 3 RBIs. A bunt laid down there by Wolf. Pitcher Elliott only has 1 play, and that's at first base, and he throws it away. And the ball goes to a right field area, goes into the right field bullpen. And so coming around to score is Kyle Strash, who is at second base. Grant will move to third base, and now at second base will be Colin Wolf. We had a sacrifice there by Wolf. And an E1. So one run has come across as Kyle Strash scored for the Seattle Studs. 1-0 now. We do have runners at second and third with no outs. Now batting, the designated hitter number 34, Jack Pauley. Pauley swings and misses at the first pitch, an 86-mile-an-hour fastball. As the count goes to no balls and one strike. That went high, and that gets away from the catcher. He's going to bounce back at him, but not going to be in time as the runner comes across Gavin Grant, and moving over to third base is Colin Wolf. So the score now 2-0 in favor of the Seattle Studs. And we still have no outs, and that's going to be it for Trevor Elliott. As here comes coach for the Stars. And we're going to have a pitching change. We'll find out who it is. We'll take a small break, and we'll be right back. All right, we welcome you back as we are still in the top half of the first inning. We're just underway. 2 runs have scored for the Seattle Studs as Trevor Elliott walked the first 2 batters. Then there was a sacrifice bunt laid down, and then an error by the pitcher. He threw that out in the right field, but it went into the bullpen. Actually saved a run by it going out to the bullpen area. But then he threw a wild pitch that scored Grant from third base. And now we have a new pitcher for San Diego Stars. It is number 5, Noah Quintana, a left-handed thrower from Santee, California. He's a 5'10", 220-pounder. And I'll give you the final numbers on Elliott as he has no outs yet, so I have 2 runs scored. The point streak not caught up yet, so I'll wait till it does, and then I'll give you those numbers. Once again, number 34, Jack Pauley up there. And Quintana comes in with a 1-1 count to Pauley. That one missing outside, a breaking ball at 74 miles an hour. The count is 2 balls and 1 strike. Colin Wolf at third base with no out here in the top half of the first. That one missing way outside for ball 3. 3-1 the count, and that one was at 77 miles an hour. Not sure whether Quintana had very much time to warm up as things went south quickly. That one called strike 1 on the outside corner as Jack Pauley took a couple steps towards first base, thinking that was ball 4. And here's Quintana's pitch. That one missing outside for ball 4. That one at 74 miles an hour. So Pauley will be on base with a base on balls. That is the 3rd base on balls given up by the pitchers from the San Diego Stars. That will bring up the first baseman, number 25, Ryan Butnick. Butnick comes in batting .308 here in the World Series. That one's popped up to the right-hand side. First baseman Jenner backing up in foul territory and makes the catch for out number 1. So 1 pitch to Butnick, and we have 1 out. And that would bring up the catcher, number 26, Brock Gagliardi. Gagliardi. Boy, I had that problem last night, too. We're going to get it, though. Gagliardi batting .400. Let's see, he has appeared in 4 ball games. That first pitch is called strike 1, a 78-mile-an-hour fastball by Quintana. Left-handed pitcher against left-handed batter. And here's the pitch. There goes Polly. And the ball gets away from the catcher, Arias. So a stolen base there by Polly. So now there's runners on at second and third with 1 down here in the top half of the first. There's a swing and it fouled off there by Gagliardi. As the count goes to 1 ball, 2 strikes. The score 2-0 in favor of the Seattle Studs as they scored quickly here in the top half of the first. That one missing low for ball 2, so that will even up the count at 2-2. Gagliardi batting .400, has been up the plate 10 times, has 4 hits, 3 runs scored, 1 double, and 1 RBI. Got runners in scoring position here. That one missing outside for ball 3. So the count goes full now at 3-2 to Gagliardi. And here's Quintana's pitch. Swing and a miss there by Gagliardi as he goes down swinging for out number 2. Great pitch there by Quintana to get Gagliardi swinging. So now that will bring up the right fielder, number 3, Henry Cheney. And there's a ball out in the outfield. Looks like it got away from the bullpen on the Studs bullpen on the right field side. So they call timeout. So now batting is Henry Cheney for the Seattle Studs. Cheney comes in and has the hot bat, batting .583. He's appeared in 3 ball games, has been up the bat 12 times and has 7 hits. And I'm wondering if these stats, yes. And he also has 3 RBIs. First pitch was a ball. That one just missing inside. That one's a breaking ball at 72 miles an hour. And the count goes to 2 balls, no strikes. If you're just joining us, Trevor Elliott started off pitching for San Diego and came out after he walked the first 2 guys and then had an error on him. Then walked Pauly. And here comes Quintana. That one, ball 3. So the count goes to 3 balls and 1 strike now to Henry Cheney. And there was some action out in the bullpen, but they've just now quit for the San Diego Stars. Maybe he's ready to go, whoever that was, since didn't get a chance to catch that number. That one called strike against Henry Cheney, so that will take the count to full now at 3-2. Once again, there's runners at second and third with 2 down. And we have a full count here in the top half of the first inning. As Seattle trying to put 2 more runs across. That one hit hard to the shortstop, Salinas. Salinas fires to first and throws it left of the home plate side, but a good play there by Jenner to tag out Cheney for out number 3. So at the end of 1/2 inning plays, the Seattle Studs 2 and the San Diego Stars coming to bat. You're listening to the NBC World Series live stream presented by Park City, Kansas. Visit Park City's website at parkcityks.com. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Scott Stiles, General Manager of Wichita Burner, right here in beautiful downtown Wichita. I know how important it is to be on a winning team. My winning team of Jim Myers, Ashley Jansen, and Jeff Markowitz are here every day to provide you with the best customer service for your boiler and burner needs. On behalf of our team, we want to wish you and your team the best of luck at this year's 85th Annual NBC World Series. And welcome to Wichita.
And we welcome you back to X Stadium for the 85th National Baseball Congress World Series, powered by Westar Energy. Frank Martinez here, your play-by-play announcer. As we go to the bottom half of the first inning, the score is 2-0 in favor of the Seattle Studs. Pitching for Seattle is the number 9, David Benson. Benson has appeared in one ball game, went 6 innings, gave up 1 hit, had 5 strikeouts, and is 1-0 here in the NBC World Series as he's got a 0.00 ERA. The first batter that he'll be facing for the San Diego Stars is the center fielder, number 1, Kyle Pineda. And Pineda comes in batting .333 as he's appeared in 4 ball games. Has been up to bat 18 times, has 6 hits, 6 runs scored. And the count is no balls, 2 strikes to him. That one, a 91-mile-an-hour fastball by David Benson, missing high. So that would take the count to 1 ball and 2 strikes. And a strikeout for out number 1. He went down swinging there, so that will bring up the right fielder, number 17, Cabot Van Til. Van Til batting .333 here in the World Series. Has been up to bat 12 times, has 4 hits and 3 runs scored. First pitch was strike to Van Til. That one is fouled off by Van Til. That was an 80-mile-an-hour pitch. So he quickly goes down. No balls to 2 strikes. David Benson well in control here as we are in the bottom half of the first inning. That one missing outside for ball 1. And the count goes 1 ball and 2 strikes. Swing and a miss there by Van Til, and that's a second strikeout by David Benson, pitcher for the Seattle Studs. That's going to bring up the third baseman, number 11, Joey Krug. Krug batting .176 as he's been up to the plate 17 times, has 3 hits and scored 1 run. It has 2 RBIs. Swing and a miss there by Krug. That was an 89-mile-an-hour fastball by Benson. That one called strike 2. And that one at 82 miles an hour. So Benson getting ahead of the batters here in the bottom half of the first inning, as the count is no balls and 2 strikes. That fastball at 90 miles an hour, just missing high. So that will take the count now to 1-2. Great evening here tonight in Wichita, Kansas, as the temperature is at 78 degrees. Hardly any wind here tonight, but the humidity is at 84%, showing that the wind's about east to southeast at about 7 miles an hour, that is. Comes up every once in a while. The swing and a miss there by Krug, and David Benson strikes out the side. So at the end of one, it is the Seattle Studs 2 and the San Diego Stars 0. And you're listening to the NBC World Series live stream presented by Park City, Kansas. Visit Park City's website at parkcityks.com. We'll be right back.
What do you see? I see my daughter, a strong and independent woman, a skilled expert, living her life, and an inspiration to others. What do you see?
And we welcome you back for the 85th National Baseball Congress World Series, powered by Westar Energy. As we go to the top half of the second inning, the score is 2-0 in favor of Seattle. Leading off for the Seattle Studs will be the left fielder, number 6, Kyle Bowe. Bowe comes in batting .200 as he's been up the plate 10 times and has 2 hits. Here's the pitch. Once again, Noah Quintana in on relief. Second pitch is, we have a 1 ball, 1 strike to Kyle Bowe. That one in there for strike 2. That one at 69 mile an hour breaking ball. So the count is 1 ball, 2 strikes now to Bowe. Swing and a miss there by Bowe for out number 1. And that will bring up the center fielder, number 16, R.J. Green. That is the second strikeout by Noah Quintana after he entered the ball game. So R.J. Green up. He is batting .286. As he's appeared at the plate 14 times, has 4 hits, 3 runs, and 2 RBIs so far here in the World Series. Count is no balls and 1 strike now to R.J. Green. Ball hit up the middle, and that's going to be into center field for a base hit. So Green records his first hit of the ball game. And that will put a runner on at first base with 1 down here in the top half of the second inning. And that will bring up the second baseman, number 4, Kyle Strash. Strash reached on a base on balls as Elliott walked the first 2 batters to start off the ball game. He did score a run, so he was sacrificed over. Then we had an error on the pitcher. Count is 1 ball, no strike. A breaking ball. Looks like it almost hit Strash. That was a 68 mile an hour breaking ball that didn't quite break. And ball thrown over to first base, and safely is Green. Quintana, once again, the pitcher. Defensively at infield, Jenner at first, Jocelyn at second. Salinas, there goes the runner to second base. There was a throw down there, but not even a slide or a tag, as R.J. Green is in safely with a stolen base. Once again, Jocelyn at second. Salinas is at short, Krug at third. The outfielder is Culp in left, Pineda at center, and Van Til in right field. Catching is Arias. There's the ball missing inside, and the count will go to 3 balls and 1 strike to Kyle Strash, the second baseman for the Studs. 2-0 is the score as we are in the top half of the second inning. Ball fouled off to the left-hand side in the construction area. I say construction area because we are on the campus of Wichita State University, the Wichita State Shockers. They got a new dugout on the third base side being built and a new locker room that will be attached to it. Ball hit to up the middle as a diving Jocelyn tried to get to that, and falling down is Green at third base as he trips over the bag. So he'll be stopping at third base, and now he reaches down to grab his right knee. Hope he's okay, but he is reaching down. So in for a base hit is Strash, as that was hit into right field. So now 2 hits here in the inning, and that will put a runner on at first and third with 1 down. That'll bring up the shortstop, number 5, Gavin Grant. First pitch to Grant is called strike 1. So no balls, 1 strike. The middle infield is at double play death, and the corners are in as Grant squares around the bunt. That will take the count now to 1 ball, 1 strike. Noah Quintana, pitcher, and here's the toss. That one hit hard, and that passed the shortstop Salinas, so a run will score from third base, and R.J. Green is still limping there. Not exactly sure what he did, but he must have tripped over the bag because he went down pretty hard on that last hit. So Grant is on with a base hit. That's the third hit of the ball of the this inning, and that will bring up the third baseman, number 28, Colin Wove. So Grant now at first, Strash at second, and scoring from third base was R.J. Green. The score now 3-0 in favor of the Seattle Washington Studs. Once again, the winner of this game will move on to play the Cheney, Kansas Diamond Dogs for the national championship tomorrow evening at 7 o'clock. By the way, did want to let you know that swing and a miss there by Colin Wolf, and the count goes to 1 ball, 1 strike. At 70-mile-an-hour breaking ball by Noah Quintana. And what I was wanting to let you know is that there is no run rule in effect for the semifinal games or the championship game tomorrow. Hence was the 13-3 win by the Cheney Diamond Dogs over the Kansas Cannons. Here's the pitch. That one just missing inside at 76 mile an hour. And the count goes to 2 balls and 1 strike. We hope you're enjoying all the action here tonight. There's a hard hit ball into left field. Left fielder Culp moving towards the line makes the catch for out number 2. And going back to second base is Strash. As we now have 2 down here in the top half second inning. That will bring up the designated hitter, number 34, Jack Pauley. Pauley reached on a base on balls in the first inning and then had a stolen base and was left stranded at second base as Henry Cheney hit into a 6-3 for the third out. Ball hit deep into left field. A great catch there by Culp to make the catch for the third out. That was Ryan Culp making that catch for the third out. You're listening to the NBC World Series live stream presented by Park City, Kansas. Visit Park City's website at parkcityks.com. We'll be right back.
From the sea, come to you. I heard the laughing. Come from the sea, come to you. I'm someone like you. Na 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 na. Wichita. I'm going to Wichita. I'm going to Wichita. And I'm going to Wichita.
Learn more at visitwichita.com.
And we welcome you back here to the 85th National Baseball Congress World Series, powered by Westar Energy. We are going to the bottom half of the second inning. The score is the Seattle Washington Studs 3 and the San Diego California Stars 0. Leading off there for the Stars will be the designated hitter, number 19, Dallas Seidel. Seidel comes in batting .286 as he's been up the plate 14 times, has 4 hits, scored 3 runs, has 2 doubles, and has 3 RBIs. 2-0 now the count to Seidel. That ball hit to the second baseman. Strash moves to his right, goes to Butnick at first base for out number 1. So a 4-3 put out in the books for the first out here in the bottom half of the second inning. Once again, we are in the second inning. The score 3-0 in favor of the Studs. That will bring up the second baseman, number 33, Brady Jocelyn. Jocelyn comes in batting .333. There's a pitch strike, 78-mile-an-hour. Breaking ball to Jocelyn. Jocelyn batting .333, has been up the bat 12 times, has 4 hits, and have 4 RBIs. There's a hard hit ball. That on a diving effort there by shortstop Grant, not able to get to it as he had to move to his right, and Jocelyn records his first hit of the ball game. As he was actually 4 out of 16. I thought these stats were off one game, so I'm gonna go to something else here to make sure I get you the correct stats. All right, so anyway, Jocelyn is on at first base because I know they played 5 games, and these stats are after 4 games. So the count, no count there to Jesse Jenner. Jenner first pitch to Jenner is ball 1. Jenner's from Alpine, California. He's a 6-foot, 200-pounder where he's a free agent. And he is 5 for 20, batting .250, as he has 3 RBIs here in the World Series. Ball is fouled off, so the count will go to 1 ball, 1 strike. So the count 1-1 with a runner on at first base as Jocelyn reached on a base hit. And we do have 1 down here in the bottom half second inning. That pitch in there, 76-mile-an-hour, in there for a strike. So that would take the count to 1 ball, 2 strikes. Here's Benson's pitch. Swing and a miss there by Jenner. That one was at 82-mile-an-hour as he goes down for out number 2. And actually, I thought that was strike 2, but no, it's not. Strike 3. So 2 down, and that will bring up the catcher, number 13, Luke Arias. So Jenner is now 0 for 1 as he makes the second out here in the bottom half of the second inning. First pitch to Arias, missing low for ball one. That was a 90-mile-an-hour fastball by David Benson. And here's the pitch. That one missing high for ball two. That was an 89-mile-an-hour fastball. We have a runner on at first base with two down, as Jocelyn reached on a base hit. That one missing inside for ball three. Once again, Arias, first time at the plate here tonight. He is 2 for 15, batting .133 for the World Series. And he's got lucky number 13 on. That one missing high. So there's ball four to Arias, so he will be going to first base on a walk. Brady Jocelyn will move to second base, and that will bring up the left fielder, number 20, Ryan Culp. Cope is from Santee, California. He's a 5'9", 170-pounder from San Diego Christian College. First pitch is strike one of 76 mile an hour. So the count goes to no balls, one strike. Once again, we hope you're enjoying the broadcast here tonight, as we had a doozy in the first game, 13-3. Once again, the winner of this game will move on to the championship game tomorrow. There's a swing and a miss there by Ryan Cope as he goes down to no balls and two strikes. That was a 80-mile-an-hour pitch by Benson. That one, fastball at 80 miles an hour, just missing outside. So that would take the count now to 1 ball and 2 strikes. We have a lot of great comments on YouTube and Facebook. We thank you very much. There's a base hit up the middle, but correction, that was caught there by second baseman. I thought that was going to go up the middle, but the second baseman, Strash, made a out there. So at the end of 2, the score is the Studs 3 and the Stars 0. And you're listening to the NBC World Series live stream presented by Park City, Kansas. Visit Park City's website at parkcityks.com. We'll be right back.
What do you see? I see a new day. To continue my journey, riding towards my goal, to create the life I've always wanted. I do what it takes, and now I ride to my dream job. What do you see?
And we welcome you back as we go to the top half of the third inning. Leading off for the Seattle Studs will be number 25, Ryan Butnick, the first baseman. And I have a special guest that's watching here tonight. I'd like to welcome my grandson. Just a second after this pitch here. As the count is no balls and 1 strike. I'd like to welcome my grandson, Nico Cortez, from Alabama who's watching us here tonight. We know you're starting school soon and need to let you know that Grandma and Grandpa miss you a lot. We hope you do good here in school this year. So welcome Nico Cortez to the broadcast. Count is 1 ball, 1 strike, and a swing and a miss there by Budnick. So the count will go to 1 ball and 2 strikes. That was a 70-mile-an-hour breaking ball by Quintana. As he comes in the third for his third inning of work. That ball hit hard to the right side. Van Til backing up, making the catch for out number 1. Nice job there by Van Til to run that one down, as that was hit hard by Ryan Budnick. That would bring up the catcher, number 26, Brock Gagliardi. Gagliardi struck out the first time as he made the second out in the top half of the first inning. Here's the pitch at 79-mile-an-hour fastball, missing for ball 1 to Gagliardi by Quintana. That one in there for strike 1. That one at 76 miles an hour. So that will even up the count now at 1 ball and 1 strike. 3-0 is the score in favor of the Seattle Studs. That one fouled off by Gagliardi. As the count goes to 1 ball, 2 strikes. Once again, we hope that you're enjoying the broadcast. Don't forget to share, whether you're on YouTube or Facebook. As we thank our technician, Chris Worrell, who brings us all these broadcasts so you fans away from Wichita can enjoy watching your boys play. Swing and a miss there by Gagliardi, and he goes down swinging for out number 2. So that will bring up the right fielder, number 3, Henry Cheney. As there is 2 down here in the top half of the third. And Quintana has come in to pitch very nicely for the San Diego Stars, as Trevor Elliott had a rough start and was pulled in the first inning. That pitch missing for ball 1. That was a breaking ball at 67 miles an hour. That one is 69 and missing for ball 2. So 2-0 now the count to Henry Cheney. Cheney is 0 for 1 as he grounded out to the shortstop in the first inning. And he's batting .500 as he's 7 for 14 and with 3 RBIs. The ball hit to the third baseman. Krug backs up and then goes over to first for out number 3. So at the end of 2.5 innings of play, it is the Studs 3 and the Stars 0. And you're listening to the NBC World Series live stream presented by Park City, Kansas. Visit Park City's website at parkcityks.com, and we'll be right back.
Good evening, baseball fans. I'm KSN Chief Meteorologist Lisa Teachman, and welcome to X Stadium. We're just about ready to wrap up the NBC World Series. We have one more day left to go into tomorrow. 79 degrees is what you can expect for this evening. While we have had a lot of cloud cover today, those clouds are expected to thin. The humidity stays up there, but at least our rain chances won't return until after midnight tonight. And then some of those rain showers will linger into early tomorrow morning. The low overnight will be 70, but once the sunshine returns tomorrow, we're heating up to 92. Enjoy the rest of your evening and have a safe drive home tonight.
And we welcome you back as we go to the bottom half of the third inning. The score is 3-0 in favor of the Seattle Washington Studs over the San Diego California Stars. Now batting is the shortstop number 3, Tristan Salinas, who is 2 for 14 here in the World Series and has 3 RBIs. Second pitch to him is low for ball 1 at 80 miles an hour, so that will take the count now to 1 ball and 1 strike. That one missing for ball 2, so 2-1 now the count. Once again, we are in the bottom half of the third inning. The winner of this game will move on to the championship game tomorrow night at 7 o'clock as they will be facing the Cheney, Kansas Diamond Dogs. That one missing for ball 3. That one at 90 miles an hour fastball. And the count goes 3-1 now to Tristan Salinas. David Benson is the pitcher for the Seattle Washington Studs. Here's the pitch. That one missing low for ball 4 at 85 miles an hour. So Salinas will be on at first base with a walk. And that will bring up the center fielder, number 1, Kyle Pineda. And here's Benson's pitch. That one fastball at 89 miles an hour in there for strike 1. As Pineda struck out his first time as he made the first out in the bottom half of the first inning. So he's 0 for 1. Benson swing and a miss there by Pineda. But he is 7 for 23 here in the World Series. So he's batting .304 with 2 RBIs. So the count is no balls, 2 strikes to Pineda. That one swinging and missing for strike 3 and the first out here in the inning. So 1 down, and that will bring up the right fielder, number 17, Cabot Van Til. That is the 5th strikeout recorded by David Benson here in the ballgame. So Van Til up as he struck out in the first inning as he made the second out in the bottom half of the first. 3-0 in favor of the Studs. That one just missing outside at 89 miles an hour for ball 1. Count is 1 ball, no strikes, and there's a toss over to first base, and in safely is Salinas as he reached on a base on balls. We do have 1 down here in the bottom half of the third. The wind's kind of picked up a little bit now as our flag is now going from left to right. That one hit into left field. That's going to be at the corner, but it is going to be foul. As moving over was Bo. Kyle Bo trying to reach that in foul territory, but was not able to get to it. So the count will go even now at 1 ball, 1 strike. Cabot Van Til, who's 0 for 1. But he's 7 for 16 here in the World Series, batting .437. That one is 77 mile an hour, missing for ball 2. 2-1 now the count to Van Til. On deck is Krug. And in the hole, Seidel for the San Diego Stars. Here's the pitch. That one a fastball at 89 miles an hour, but just missing. So the count goes to 3 balls and 1 strike. It is now 10:35 p.m. Central Time here in Wichita, Kansas. and a cool 77 degrees here this evening. Swing and a miss there by Van Til, and that will take the count now to full at 3-2. Salinas on at first base with one down. Infield at double play death. And here's the pitch by Benson. That one hit into center field. Center fielder R.J. Green backing up a step or two, getting under it, making the catch for out number 2. So we have 2 down now here in the bottom half of the third, and that will bring up the third baseman, number 11, Joey Krug. That one fouled off to the right-hand side. First baseman Budnick goes to the dugout, but not able to get to it as that goes into the stands. And a young lady just gets that in the front row and goes back to her seat, and she is happy as can be. No balls, 1 strike now to Joey Krug as we are in the bottom half of the third inning. Here's the pitch by Benson. That one fouled off to the right side into the stands area. So the count will go no balls and 2 strikes. Krug is from San Diego, California, 6 foot, 235 pounder, and he's a Stars veteran. No balls, 2 strikes to Krug. Here's Benson's pitch. That one a fastball at 92 miles an hour, and he goes down swinging for out number 3. So at the end of 3 innings of play,
No
it
one
is
should
Seattle
live a
Studs
life
3
burdened
and the
with
San
type
Diego
1
Stars.
diabetes. And the day is coming when nobody will, because we're here to cure it. And we're working to improve the lives of those affected by this relentless disease today by finding new therapies and advancing them to market, by advocating for greater access and better choices, by deepening our understanding of the disease. At JDRF, we're fighting T1D. We're making life better for those who live with it while creating a world without it.
And we welcome you back to the 85th National Baseball Congress World Series, powered by Westar Energy. As we go to the top half of the 4th inning, the score, the Seattle Studs 3 and the San Diego Stars 0. Leading off now for the Studs will be the left fielder, number 6, Kyle Bowe. Bowe struck out his first time at the plate. And there's a pitch by Quintana, 77 mile an hour. Strike for strike number 1. Bowe is batting 0-1 here tonight. There's a ball hit to the shortstop, Salinas, as he moves to his left, throws across to the first baseman, Jenner, for out number 1. So a 6-3 put out for the first out, and that will bring up the center fielder, number 16, R.J. Green. As I was saying, Bowe was batting here the top half of the 4th inning. And now batting will be the center fielder, number 16, R.J. Green, as we have one down. The pitch there by Quintana is 79 mile an hour fastball for strike 1. Quintana's come in and done a fine job here. That's fouled off to the construction area. As the count goes 0-2 now to Green. Green reached on the base hit his first time up, stole base, and then scored a run. The ball hit into the gap there between first and second as Jocelyn could not get to it. So Green records his second base hit of the ball game. And that will bring up the second baseman, number 4, Kyle Strash. Strash is 1 for 1 officially. He walked his first time and got a base hit in the second inning, but was left stranded at second base. He is batting .333 for the World Series as he's 5 for 15 with 2 RBIs. The ball throw over to first base, Green back safely. Noah Quintana has now thrown 55 pitches, 34 balls. Correction, 34 strikes and 21 balls. That is into the center field for a base hit and a nice toss there by Pineda, but the ball gets away from the third baseman Krug. But backing up is the pitcher, Quintana. So runners will be on at second and third now as Green will be at third base. A base hit by Kyle Strash, and then he goes to second base on the throw. And here comes coach for the San Diego Stars. Looks like we are going to have a new pitcher. It's going to be a right-handed pitcher. It's going to be number 10. We're going to take a small break, and we'll be right back. All right, we welcome you back. Now pitching for San Diego Stars will be number 10, Austin Seidel. Seidel is a right-handed thrower from Santee, California. He's a 6'1", 200-pounder. He's also a Stars veteran. We'll give you the final numbers for Quintana. As a matter of fact, I don't think I ever gave you the final numbers. Yeah, I did. For Elliott, I did. For Quintana, he went 3 1/3 innings. Gave up 5 hits, 1 run, 1 earned run, 1 base on balls, 3 strikeouts as he faced 16 batters. So the first batter he'll be facing is the shortstop, number 5, Gavin Grant. We do have runners at second and third. Those 2 runs will be charged to Quintana. And once again now on the mound is Austin Seidel, number 10. That one missing high for ball 1, so the count will even up at 1 ball, 1 strike. That was at 69 miles an hour. So we have Green at third base and Strash at second. And the infield is in now. Swing and a miss there by Gavin Grant. Grant walked his first time up and got a base hit in the second inning and was left stranded at first base. Once again, the infield is in for the Stars as they try to keep that runner at third base from scoring, as they are down 3-0 here. The top out fourth. That ball is grounded off to the third base side, but foul. So the count stays at 1 ball and 2 strikes. So back up there is Gavin Grant. We had a great crowd here for the first game between the Kansas Cannons and the Cheney, Kansas Diamond Dogs. That's thinned out just a little bit, not much, but fans are enjoying 2 games for the price of 1 here at the 85th National Baseball Congress World Series, powered by Westar Energy. And what a great tournament that tournament director Kevin Jinks and his crew have put on here. That one in there, call strike 3 for out number 2. That was at, didn't see the speed on that, sorry about that. But anyway, that brings up the third baseman, number 28, Colin Wolf. Wolf got on with a sacrifice and then an E1 to the pitcher. That was charged to Trevor Elliott. As he ended up at second base on the play, there's a horn that goes off and penalty ball 1 against Austin Seidel, as he had 20 seconds to make that pitch once he receives the ball in the circle and did not start his delivery. So he gets charged a ball. So the count is 1 ball, no strikes. That one in there for strike at 84 miles an hour by Seidel. So that will even up the count now at 1-1. Runners on at second and third now with 2 down. Here in the top half of the fourth. 3-0 in favor of Seattle Studs over the San Diego Stars. Now people clapping their hands, trying to get some more action going. That one missing outside. And that would take the count to 2 balls, 1 strike. That was a breaking ball at 74 miles an hour by Seidel, the new pitcher for the San Diego Stars. That one in there for a strike. 83-mile-an-hour fastball by Seidel, as that would take the count to 2 balls, 2 strikes. 2 runners on base and 2 down here in the top half of the fourth inning. 3-0. Studs. Here's the pitch. That one fouled off to the right-hand side. So runners will head back to their bases as Green goes back to third and Strash goes back to second base. And the count still at 2 balls, 2 strikes. To third baseman Colin Wolf. That one missing outside, 79 miles an hour. So the count goes full now at 3-2. Once again, tomorrow evening we have the National Championship, the 85th National Baseball Championship, powered by Westar Energy, as we will have that game at 7 o'clock. There's a swing and a miss there by Colin Wolf, and he throws his bat down in his helmet. He's frustrated with himself for not getting that. So at the end of 3.5, it is the Studs 3 and the Stars 0. And you're listening to the NBC World Series live stream presented by Park City, Kansas. Visit Park City's website at parkcityks.com. We'll be right back.
At the Alzheimer's Association Walk to End Alzheimer's, we carry flowers that signify why we want to end the disease. And we walk so that one day there will be a white flower for Alzheimer's first survivor. Join the fight at alz.org/walk.
And we welcome you back as we go to the bottom half of the fourth inning. The score is the Seattle Studs 3 and the San Diego Stars 0. This is Frank Martinez, your play-by-play announcer. Hope you enjoy the action here tonight. As we go to the bottom half of fourth, leading off will be the designated hitter, number 19, Dallas Seidel. First pitch from Benson, missing outside for ball one. David Benson still out on the mound for the Seattle Studs. And the count is 1 ball, 1 strike. Swing and a miss there by Dallas Seidel as Benson throws his 50th pitch here in the ball game. He has 31 strikes and 19 balls. That one just missing outside, a breaking ball at 76 miles an hour. So the count goes to 2 balls, 2 strikes to Dallas Seidel. .77 degrees here in Wichita. The ball lifted into right field. Right fielder Cheney coming in. That's going to be in foul territory, though, as Budnick and Strash and Cheney all went after it. But it's just a long foul ball. So the count stays at 2 balls and 2 strikes. That count goes to 3-2 as that one misses. So we have a full count now to the leadoff hitter here in the fourth inning. That one, ball 4. And on at first base will be Dallas Seidel. That is only the 3rd walk given up by David Benson. And it will bring up the second baseman, number 33, Brady Jocelyn. Jocelyn got a base hit his first time up in the second inning and was left stranded at second base. That one a bunt attempt, I should say. That was fouled off back to the screen, and Gagliardi attempted to make that play but was not able to get there in time as it did go off the screen. Count is no balls, 1 strike. And Gagliardi went back to home plate when was looking for his helmet or his mask. He had thrown that down to try to make that play. So the count, no balls, 1 strike with a runner on at first base as Seidel reached on a base on balls. Once again, Jocelyn attempting to make that bunt lay down but misses. That was 79 miles an hour. So the count now goes to no balls and 2 strikes. Now the infield moves back, almost taking the bunt situation out of play with 2 strikes. Here's the pitch by Benson. That one missing outside. A check swing there by Jocelyn. So that will take the count now to 1-2 to the second baseman, Brady Jocelyn. Nice crowd out there here tonight. Ball hits on third baseman. Third baseman Wolf goes to second. Strash it for the force out and goes back to Buddick to attempt the double play. Not able to get it, but they did get the lead runner with a 5-4 put out. And reaching on a fielder's choice is Brady Jocelyn. That'll bring up the first baseman, number 2, Jesse Jenner. Ball hit to third base. That's going to be a fair ball. He goes to second once again. Strash for the force out. Nice play there by Wolf as he moved to his right at the bag. Colin Wolf, and goes to Kyle Strash at second base for the second out. Once again, reaching on a fielder's choice is Jesse Jenner. So he'll be on at first base. So we have had 2 5-4 plays here in the bottom half of the fourth inning. And we have 2 down. Breaking ball is 77 mile an hour, and that went in there for hit the corner for strike 1. Luke Arias is the batter. Arias is 0 for 0 officially as he walked. There's a swing and a miss there by Arias. And that would take the count to no balls and 2 strikes. Arias reached on a base on balls in the second inning. And he is 2 for 15 here in the World Series as he's batting .133. Here's Benson's pitch. That ball hit into left field. That's going to fall in for a base hit. And stopping is Kyle Bowe, letting that ball bounce in front of him. He knew he was not going to be able to get to it. Didn't want to give the San Diego Stars any extra bases. So stopping at second base will be Jesse Jenner. And in with a base hit, his first hit of the game, is Luke Arias. That will bring up the left fielder, number 20, Ryan Cope. Cope reached on a fielder's choice in the second inning, as Arias had reached on a base on balls and was forced out at second base on a 4-6 for the third out. No balls to 1 strike. There's a breaking ball. Or actually, that was a fastball, I'm sorry. At 79 miles an hour, and the count goes no balls, 2 strikes. So 0-2 now the count to Ryan Cope. As we are in the bottom half of the fourth innings. Swinging strike 3 for out number 3. So at the end of 4 innings of play, it is the Seattle Studs 3 and the San Diego Stars 0. And you're listening to the NBC World Series live stream presented by Park City, Kansas. Visit Park City's website at parkcityks.com. We'll be right back.
What do you see? I'll tell you what I don't see. I don't see a dropout. I don't see laid off. I don't see hopeless. I see our future, bright and prosperous. What do you see?
And we welcome you back as we go to the top half of the fifth inning. The score is the Seattle Washington Studs 3 and the San Diego California Stars 0. Leading off for the Seattle Studs will be the designated hitter, number 34, Jack Pauly. First pitch is strike one there to Jack Pauly. Once again, now pitching is Austin Seidel, who came in the last inning. That one missing for ball one, so that will take the count to 1 ball, 1 strike. That was 70 miles an hour. Fouled off there by Pauly. The count is 1 ball and 2 strikes. Pauly from Overland Park, Kansas, 6'4", 220 pounders, where he's a senior out of Northern Colorado University. 2 balls, 2 strikes now to Jack Pauly. He reached on a base on balls in the first, flew out to left field in the second inning as he made the third out. That hit him in the handle area, goes to second base. Jocelyn, as he moves that ball over to Jenner at first base for out number 1. So a 4-3 put out for the first out. That will bring up the first baseman, number 25, Brian Butnick. Pauly was batting .428 as he was 9 for 21 before that 4-3 put out. It's going to bring up the first baseman, number 25, Butnick, who flew out to the first baseman in foul territory in the first inning as he made the first out, and then flew out to right field as he started off the top half of the third inning, making the first out. 1 ball, no strike. Fastball at 82 miles an hour, missing for ball 2 by Austin Seidel. Here's the pitch. That missing outside. So the count goes to 3 balls, 1 strike. It's 75 mile an hour breaking ball by Seidel. 3-1. And the Stud fans are starting to clap their hands, wanting to get some action here by the Studs. That a fastball at 79 miles an hour. That will take the count now full at 3-2. Been a pretty clean ball game so far for the Seattle Studs. There's fouled off there by Butnick. For the Seattle Stars, Seattle Studs, they've had 3 runs on 5 hits, no errors. And for San Diego Stars, they've scored no runs on 2 hits and 1 error. As all 3 runs were scored in the first and second inning. 2 runs in the first and 1 run in the top half of the second inning. There's a hard hit ball to third baseman, and Krug not able to get to that as he just looks between his legs as that ball was hit so hard. And it's going to be an error on the third baseman, Krug, as he didn't get down on that. So Butnick will be on at first base, and that will bring up the catcher, number 26, Brock Gagliardi. There we go. That one missing at 81 miles an hour for ball one to Gagliardi. As we are in the top half of the fifth inning. 3-0 in favor of Seattle. That one hit foul along the left field line. And I will even up the count now to 1 ball, 1 strike. And here's Slidell's pitch. Ball lifted into left center field. The center fielder, Pineda, moving over to his right, making the catch for out number 2. A great job there by Pineda. And she had to cover a lot of room. That ball just kept floating away from him. And he makes the catch for the second out. We'll bring up the right fielder, number 3, Henry Cheney. Cheney is an interesting story. I told this story the other day where he is the grandson of the founder of the Tacoma Seattle Cheney Studs. That bunt laid down there by Cheney, I think, is going to be safe. A great base hit there by Henry Cheney. That will move Button to second base. And that'll bring up left fielder number 6, Kyle Bowe. Anyways, I was saying about Cheney, he is the grandson of the founder. The founder was Ben Cheney of Tacoma, Washington. And he founded that team in 1954 as the Cheney Studs. And that Studs nickname was diverted from the Cheney's Company, as they had 2x4s for building homes. And now they are known as the Tacoma Seattle Cheney Studs. But that's neat to have a grandson of the founder of this ball team now playing ball for that same team. That missing high for ball one. Once again, the batter, Kyle Bowe. As we have runners on at first and second now with 2 down. As Henry Cheney just got a base hit with a bunt. Perfectly laid bunt there by Cheney. 1 ball, no strike. Break that one in for a strike at 79 miles an hour. So that will even up the count now to 1 ball and 1 strike. And here's the pitch. That one fouled off to the left-hand side. So that will take the count now to 1 ball, 2 strikes with a runner on at first and second. And we have 2 down here in the top half of the 5th inning. The score, the Seattle Washington Studs 3 and the San Diego California Stars 0. Breaking ball, that's going to be hit into center field on 1 hop. Pineda gets that, and here comes the throw into home. Running in safely, I should say, is Ryan Butnick as he scores from second base. Moving over to second base is Cheney, and Kyle Bowe records a base hit and an RBI. And now they takes the score 4-0 in favor of Seattle. Now to bring up the center fielder, number 16, R.J. Green. Green batting is 2 for 2 here tonight as he has 2 singles, 1 in the second inning and 1 in the 4th. He did score in the second, but was left stranded at third base in the 4th inning, as they had runners at second and third, and then Quintana struck out Grant and Wolf to leave those bases stranded. Count goes to 2 balls, no strike. That was an 81-mile-an-hour pitch, missing for ball 2. So we have Cheney at second, Bowe at first with 2 down. Score 4-0. for the Studs. And here's the pitch, missing high, or correction, in there for strike one. I actually thought that was just tad high, but what do I know? I'm sitting up here. Umpires have a better view of it than I do. Count is 2 balls, 1 strike. That one fouled off by R.J. Green. That would take the count now at 2 balls, 2 strikes. Runners at first and second with 2 down. And the pitcher, Austin Seidel, kind of stepped off the rubber there. Now he's ready to go. And here's the pitch. That ball hit to the shortstop. Shortstop Selena comes in, makes the play first and closes it down into the ground. And a great scoop up there by Jenner to get that third out. So at the end of 4.5 innings of play, it is the Studs 4 and the Stars 0. And you're listening to the NBC World Series live stream presented by Park City, Kansas. Visit Park City's website at parkcityks.com. We'll be right back.
From the sea, come to you. I heard the laughing. Come from the sea, come to you. I'm someone like you. Na 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 na. I'm going to Wichita. I'm going to Wichita. I'm going to Wichita. And I'm going to Wichita.
Learn more at visitwichita.com.
And we welcome you back as we go to the bottom half of the 5th inning. For the San Diego, California Stars, leading off will be the shortstop number 3, Tristan Salinas. Salinas reached on a base on balls in the 3rd inning and was left stranded at first base. So this is his 2nd time at the plate. And a nice pitching job so far by David Benson. For the Studs, that first pitch is fouled off up in the stands. And somebody will have a nice souvenir as it takes a bounce and then goes clear up to the very top row. And that young fella is going to have to work hard to get to that. But he gets it and he lifts it up and screams, yeah! Boy, I just love baseball. Ball hit to the 3rd baseman. Woof goes to Budnick for out number 1. That's why we love coming to the ballpark. A 5-3 put out because one of these Salinas there just made that young man's day. And that'll bring up the center fielder, number 1, Kyle Pineda. Pineda looking for his first hit of the ball game as he is 0 for 2 and has struck out twice. Once in the 1st and once in the 3rd. There's a swing and a miss at an 88-mile-an-hour fastball by David Benson. Pineda, the center fielder for the Stars. Ball hits the right side net. Looks like he's going to have his first hit as that gets by Strash as he goes down to the carpet area but not able to get to it. And so there is Pineda's first hit of the ball game. Pineda was batting 7 for 23, batting .304 with 2 RBIs before that hit. So he records his first hit of the ball game, brings up the right fielder number 17, Cabot Van Til. Once again, we are in the bottom half of the 5th inning. The score is 4-0 in favor of the Seattle Washington Studs over the San Diego, California Stars. I know some of you just joining us would like to know that information, so we'll put it out there. That ball hit hard to Strash, goes over to Grant covering at second base for the force out, but did not get Van Til at first base. So a 4-6 put out for the second out. And Van Til reaches on a fielder's choice, and they'll bring up the third baseman, number 11, Joey Krug. First pitch to Krug, 79 miles an hour, ball one. Krug is 0 for 2 here tonight, as he has struck out twice in the first and in the third inning. Ball hit, that's in the gap as the shortstop was over closer to second base, and the ball thrown back to second base, but not going to be in time. A great heads-up play there by Kyle Bowe, as the ball was hit sharply to him, and Krug records his first hit of the ball game. There was quite a gap between third baseman and shortstop as he was over closer to second base trying to cover second base. So Krug just drove it into that hole, and he records his first hit. That will bring up the designated hitter, number 19, Dallas Seidel. Van Til now at second base. Krug on at first. As we have two down here in the bottom half of the fifth inning. Ball is fouled off there by Seidel. Michael Cruz says, good crowd. He's glad. Well, so are we. I know that the crowd got a good ball game in the first as they came out to support two Kansas teams. Now they're getting to watch the Seattle Washington Studs and the San Diego California Stars. A swing and a miss there by Seidel, and that will take the count now to 1-2 strikes. That pitch was at 79 miles an hour. That pitch was the 75th pitch by Benson. 51 strikes, 24 balls now by David Benson here in the ball game. Here's Benson's pitch. There goes the runners, and it is fouled off by Seidel. So Van Til will go back to second base, and Krug will go back to first base as they were taken off on the pitch on a 1-2 count. Count now goes to 2 strikes to Dallas Seidel. As the count is 2 strikes. 2 men on base and 2 down. Deuce is wild. Ball hit into right center field. That's going to fall in for base hit. Coming around is Van Til from third base. Stopping at second is Krug. And Seidel records his first hit of the game and an RBI. And that now takes the score to 4-1 in favor of the Seattle Studs over the San Diego Stars. So a base hit there by Dallas Seidel. And 1 run is across now for the San Diego Stars. That will bring up the second baseman, number 33, Brady Jocelyn. Once again, the winner of this game will move on into the championship game tomorrow night, as they will be facing the Cheney, Kansas Diamond Dogs, coached by head coach Pat Hahn. And the Diamond Dogs have faced the Studs before, as they beat them. I believe the score is 5-4. I had that down somewhere. Yeah, they lost to the Diamond Dogs 5-4. But they have not played the Stars. So Once again, the winner of this game will face them in the championship tomorrow. There's a ball hit into left center field. That's going to fall in for a base hit. Coming around third base is Krug. Going to third base will be Seidel. And into second is Brady Jocelyn. As here comes the San Diego, California Stars. As the score now is 4-2 in favor of the Studs. And all this with 2 down here in the bottom half of the 5th inning. So over to third base, Seidel. Jocelyn is in with a double. And now here comes coach for the Seattle Studs. That is Barry Aiden out there. As somebody just now getting up to start warming up for Seattle. Actually, apparently he was already warming up and he's coming in. I'll have to give you who that is here. So David Benson. I will give you his final numbers here in just a second once I find out who's coming in to pitch. I'll run this down for you. The score is now 4-2. The Seattle Studs scored 2 runs in the first inning, 1 run in the second to make it 3-0. And it stayed like that until the 5th inning. The top half of the 5th inning, the Seattle Studs scored 1 run to make it 4-0. But here in the bottom half of the 2nd inning, the San Diego Stars have scored 2 runs and have runners on at second and third with 2 down to make it 4-2. All right, our new pitcher is they haven't posted it yet. I think it's 15. Yeah, I believe it is number 15, if that's the case. That would be Xander Klaus, a right-handed thrower from Kenmore, Washington. He's a 6'2", 190-pounder. He's a graduate out of Liberty University. So the final numbers on David Benson, he goes 4 2/3 innings, gives up 6 hits, 2 runs, 2 earned runs, 3 base on balls, and 7 strikeouts as he faced 23 batters. And once again, now pitching is number 15, Xander Klaus. Here's Klaus's first pitch. Missing for ball 1. That was 75 miles an hour. And he will be facing first baseman number 2, Jesse Jenner. As the San Diego Stars have scored 2 runs here in the bottom half of the 5th to make it 4-2. Second pitch missing for ball 2. That was 87 mile an hour fastball. So Xander Klaus now coming in relief for San Diego. That's a breaking ball in there for strike 1 at 75 miles an hour. So the count will go to 2 balls and 1 strike. Jenner looking for his first hit. There's the ball hit into left field. That's going to be in for extra bases as 1 run will score. Seidel comes in, Jocelyn comes in from second base, and standing at second base is Jesse Jenner with a double and 2 RBIs to tie up the ball game at 4 apiece here in the bottom half of the 5th inning. What a great job there by Jesse Jenner as he drove that into left field right down the line for a double and scored 2 runs to tie the ball game up. That will bring up the catcher, number 13, Luke Arias. That first pitch is called strike one, an 89-mile-an-hour fastball to Arias. Once again, they are doing this with 2 down here in the bottom half of the 5th inning. I say they, I mean the Stars, as they have scored 4 runs to tie the ball game up. Second pitch was in there for a strike, so the count is no balls and 2 strikes. And here's the pitch. That one a breaking ball, missing outside, and they check with the umpire out in the outfield, says yes, so that's a strikeout for out number 3. But not before they score 4 runs, so at the end of 5, we're all tied up at 4 apiece, and you're listening to the NBC World Series live stream presented by Park City, Kansas. Visit Park City's website at parkcityks.com. We'll be right back. And we welcome you back as we go to the top half of the 6th inning. The San Diego Stars scored 4 runs on 5 hits, no errors, and 1 left on base in the bottom half of the 5th inning to tie up the score at 4-4. So leading off the top half of the 6th inning, it will be the second baseman, number 4, Kyle Strash, will be leading it off. Once again, you're watching the Seattle Washington Studs and the San Diego California Stars. A semifinal game. The winner of this game will move to play the Cheney, Kansas Diamond Dogs in the 85th National Baseball Congress World Series, powered by Westar Energy. Frank Martinez, your play-by-play announcer for tonight. We hope you're enjoying it. First pitch is ball 1 to Kyle Strash. So the count, no balls, or 1 ball, no strikes. And here's the pitch by Seidel. That one in there at 81 miles an hour, in there for a strike. So Austin Seidel is the pitcher for San Diego. So we are in the top half of the 6th inning. Here's the pitch. That one missing for ball 2. 83-mile-an-hour fastball. 2 balls, 1 strike now to Kyle Strash. He has 2 hits here in the ball game, as he is 2 for 2. So he walked in the first inning and scored a run. That one hitting the outside corner at 82 miles an hour. So that will even up the count at 2-2. Then he got a base hit in the second and a base hit in the 4th, and was left stranded both times at second base. He is 5 for 15 coming in, batting .333 with 2 RBIs. That one missing for ball 3, so that will be full now at 3-2. And here's Austin Seidel's pitch. Ball fouled off there by Strash. That was an 81-mile-an-hour pitch. And Gene Albert says, way to go, Stars. So we like to welcome all the San Diego, California Stars, and also like to welcome all the Seattle, Washington Stud fans to our telecast. We hope you're enjoying it. That is fouled off to the right-hand side. Count stays at 3 balls and 2 strikes. No outs as we start the top half of the 6th inning with a score tied at 4 apiece. And here's Seidel's pitch. That one missing outside for ball 4. That was 81 miles an hour. And on base will be Strash with a base on balls as he records his 2nd base on balls here in the ball game, as he did the same thing in the first. I will bring up the shortstop, number 5, Gavin Grant. Grant also reached on a base on balls in the first. Creeping in as the third baseman as a bunt is laid down along the first base line. What a great bunt there by Grant. Not going to be able to get to it as Austin Seidel went clear to the line, and the ball stayed fair. And a base hit there by Grant as he records his second hit of the ball game on a beautifully laid bunt along the first base side. And that will bring up Colin Wolf. What great fundamental baseball there by the Seattle Studs on a perfectly laid down bunt. I love seeing stuff like that. That's what baseball is all about. There's another bunt laid down, that one in front. Catcher will grab the and go to third base. It looks like they got him at third base. A great job there by Arias, and Krug stretching as far as he could to make that catch. And there's a force out at third base, so Wolf will be on the fielder's choice. And it is a 2-5 put out for out number 1. And here comes coach for the Stars, and looks like that's going to be it for Seidel. And coming in will be a left-hander for the San Diego Stars. We're going to take a small break, and we'll be right back as soon as we find out who it is. We'll be right back. All right, we welcome you back here to the 85th National Baseball Congress World Series, powered by Westar Energy. We got a new pitcher now in for San Diego. It'll be number 21, Bailey Robertson. Robertson is a left-handed pitcher from Alpine, California. He's a 6'1", 180-pounder. And first batter he'll be facing will be the designated hitter, number 34, Jack Pauly. I'll give you final numbers here for Seidel. For the Stars here. Here's Robertson's pitch. Runners are taken off. That ball lifted into left field. That's going to be falling in for a base hit. And coming around to score from second base is Gavin Grant. Now the ball is thrown in, and it gets away from the catcher as that ball was thrown in home. And both the runners will be advancing to second and third. So Grant scores from second base. Wolf will end up at third base. And over to second base is Grant Pauly as he recorded a base hit and an RBI. And I'm sure there'll be an error on the play. So the score now 5-4, and that's error on the left fielder. And here's Robertson's pitch. That one in for strike one at 82 miles an hour. Let me give you the final numbers on Austin Seidel. He went 2 innings, gave up 3 hits, 1 run, 1 base on balls, 2 strikeouts, and 11, as he faced 11 batters. But those runners on base should be charged to Seidel. Yes, it just now moves to 2 runs. So the runner at third base also will be charged to him if he does score. Count is 2 balls, 1 strike now to Ryan Butnick, the first baseman for the Studs. 5-4 now in favor of Seattle. We are in the top half of the 6th inning. That ball hit hard. The shortstop did a great job of getting to it. He runs down the Wolf at third base. Now he's going to get tagged out as the infield was in, and as that was hit sharply to Salinas, I should say. I said Wolf, but I meant Salinas. And he throws to Arias, and they run Wolf down in between third and home. So there's 2 down now. And Butnick receives a fielder's choice, and they'll bring up the catcher, number 26, Brock Gagliardi. So Robertson now on the pitching mound for the San Diego Stars. It's a breaking ball at 66 miles an hour. And the count goes missing for a ball as the count goes 2 balls and 1 strike. Runners on at first and second with 2 down as the Seattle Studs have answered the San Diego Stars, who scored 4 runs in the bottom half of the 5th. That one called strike. Count is 2 balls, 2 strikes. So they have answered with a run of their own here in the top half of the 6th. Here's Robertson's pitch missing outside at 74 miles an hour. As the count now goes full at 3-2. With runners on at first and second, both runners will be taken off on the pitch as it is a full count and 2 down. Here's the pitch. There is ball 4. So Gagliardi will be on at first base with a base on balls. Moving over to second base is Butnick, and Pauly will be on at third base. And coming up is the right fielder, number 3, Henry Cheney. Cheney, one of the hottest batters here in the World Series. He is 1 for 3 here tonight as he had a base hit the last time up the plate. Was left stranded at second base. So once again, Henry Cheney is the batter. Gagliardi was batting .307. Cheney's batting .500 as he came in 7 for 14 here in the World Series. He got credit with 3 RBIs so far in the World Series. Count is 1 ball, 1 strike. And here's Robertson's pitch. Breaking ball, 63 miles an hour, goes in there for strike 2. So that will take the count now to 1 ball, 2 strikes. Bases are loaded with 2 down here in the top half of the 6th inning. 5-4 in favor of Seattle over San Diego. That one missing inside for ball 2. 74 mile an hour pitch by Robertson. And here's the pitch. Now gets away from the catcher, but it bounces right back to him. But Robertson was not covering, and that hits Pauly as he's going across home plate, and another run will score. So 2 more runs has scored for the Seattle Studs as Pauly scores from third and Butnick scores from second. And moving over to third base is Gagliardi. As the ball got away from the catcher, but it bounced back to him real nicely. But unfortunately, Robertson was not quite covering. And Arias went ahead and threw the ball towards home, thinking somebody would be there. That is fouled off there by Cheney. And what it did was end up hitting the runner who was crossing home plate, and it went clear back to the patting area along the first base side. So another run scored, and Cheney will now be on the base on balls. So the score now 7-4 in favor of the Seattle Studs, as they've scored 3 runs here in the top half of the sixth inning. Sorry about it, but I was looking up to see what the coach was going to do. It looks like he's going out to talk to the pitcher and trying to settle him down here. As the Seattle Studs have scored 2 more runs with 2 outs, and they have runners on at first and third, and that will bring up the left fielder, number 6, Kyle Bowe. Cheney reached on a base on balls. He was 1 for 3 here tonight, 7 for 14 for the World Series. There's a ball hit to the right-hand side. Right fielder Van Til will come up, make the catch for out number 3. So at the end of 5.5 innings of play, it is the Studs 7 and the Stars 4. You're listening to the NBC World Series live stream presented by Park City, Kansas. Visit Park City's website at parkcityks.com. We'll be right back. And we welcome you back to X Stadium for the 85th National Baseball Congress World Series, powered by Westar Energy. As we go to the bottom half of the 6th inning, the score is 7-4 in favor of Seattle, as they scored 3 runs in the 6th inning. Top half of the 6th, on 3 runs, 2 hits, 2 errors, and 2 left on base. First batter for the San Diego Stars is left fielder number 20, Ryan Culp. As Cope fouls that one off. The count goes to 1 ball, 2 strikes. As Xander Klaus is pitching for the Seattle Studs. That one hit to the shortstop. Excuse me. Shortstop Gavin Grant goes over to the first baseman, Ryan Butnick, for out number 1. So that is a 6-3 put out for the first out, and it'll bring up the shortstop, number 3, Tristan Salinas. First pitch is 73 mile an hour for a strike. So the count is no balls, 1 strike to Salinas. And that one missing for ball 1. That one at 74 miles an hour. So the count will go to 1 ball, 1 strike, as we have 1 down here in the bottom half of the 6th. Swing and a miss there by Salinas. And that will take the count to 1 ball and 2 strikes. Ball strike 3 for out number 2. Now batting for the Stars will be the center fielder, number 1, Kyle Pineda. As we now have 2 down here in the 6th inning. Here's the first pitch by Klaus. In there for strike 1, 74 miles an hour. That one hit right back to the pitcher, and it goes to the second baseman, Strash. And so it is going to be your routine 1-4-3 for the putout. At the end of 6 innings of play, it is the Studs 7 and the Stars 4. And you're listening to the NBC World Series live stream presented by Park City, Kansas. Visit Park City's website at parkcityks.com. We'll be right back. And we welcome you back as we go to the top half of the 7th inning. Frank Martinez, your play-by-play announcer. And we're going to have a new pitcher now for the San Diego Stars. It will be number 12, Ryan Skillman, will now be coming in to pitch for the San Diego, California Stars. I'll give you final numbers for Robertson. He went 2/3 of an innings, gave up 1 hit, 1 run, 2 base on balls, and he had a total as he faced 5 batters. The first batter that he'll be facing will be the center fielder, number 16, R.J. Green. Green is 2 for 3 here tonight in this ball game. He came in batting 250. As he was 4 for 16 with 3 RBIs. So Green, a left-handed batter, against Ryan Skillman now, pitching for the Stars. That one missing high for ball 1 at 84 miles an hour. Skillman is from Chula Vista, California. He's a 5'10", 175-pounder, uncommitted. 2-0 now the count to Green. Here's the pitch. That one in there for a strike at 84 miles an hour. So that takes the count now to 2 balls and 1 strike. A lot of battle here between San Diego and Seattle Studs. There's a swing and a miss as Skillman threw a changeup at 73 miles an hour, and Green was well ahead of that pitch as the count goes to 2 balls and 2 strikes. So far the line for the Seattle Studs. That one missing high for ball 3, so the count will go full. They have 6 runs on 9. Correction, that should be 7. That's what I have. 7 runs on 8 hits. There's a walk to Green. Tell you what, I'm going to do my own paperwork here because scoreboard showing different than what our point streak is. I'm showing 9 hits, so I'm going to go with that. 7 runs on 9 hits, no errors for Seattle Studs. Now batting is the second baseman, number 4, Kyle Strash. There now the scoreboard has corrected it, but the point streak hasn't. They have 9 hits, but they don't have the 7 runs on yet. So the count is 2 balls, 1 strike now to Kyle Strash. And Skillman has at 80 mile an hour. Pitch missing for ball 3. As Krug was coming in from third base, thinking there might be a bunt laid down. Missing for ball 4, so Kyle Strash will be on at first base with a base on balls. That is his 3rd walk of the ball game. As Ryan Skillman has walked the first 2 batters that he has faced. Now we got Green on at second base, Strash on at first, and that brings up the shortstop, number 5, Gavin Grant. And here's Skillman's pitch. That one in there for strike 1, as Grant had attempted to bunt but pulled it back, but it was called strike on the outside corner at 84 miles an hour. And creeping in is the first baseman now, and that one high for ball 1. That was a changeup at 70 miles an hour. Jenner at first base is creeping in. Thinking there will be a bunt laid down here with no outs, as there is runners on at first and second. And here's the pitch. There's a bunt, beautiful bunt, but it's fouled as it goes down the third base side. Seattle's just very fundamentally a good team. They do what it takes to win ball games, and laying down a bunt is one of them. Or giving yourself up. He's the second batter here in the lineup. 3rd batter in the inning. And here's the pitch by Skillman. Swing and a miss, or fouled off, I should say, by Grant. As the count is 1 ball, 2 strikes. The score is 7-4 in favor of the Seattle Studs here in the top half of the 7th inning. Here's Skillman's pitch. That ball hit to the shortstop. Salinas will go to third base for the force out. A great play there by Salinas to Krug for out number 1. So Grant reaches on a fielder's choice and a 6-5 putout for the first out. Strash moves to second base on the play. That'll bring up the third baseman, number 28, Colin Wolf. Wolf reached on a fielder's choice his last time at the plate. Had a strikeout in the 3rd, in the 4th. Flew out to left field in the 2nd. And had a sacrifice bunt laid down, but then reached second base on a error by the pitcher. Count is 1 ball, no strike, and here's Skillman's pitch. That is foul, hit to the right-hand side. Stepping on first base is Jenner, and then the ball thrown over to second base. Salinas covering, attempting to make the tag on Grant, and the umpire says no, he was there safely. So there is now 2 down as it goes unassisted at first base for the second out. And now Strash will be over at third base. Grant will be at second. And the coach for the San Diego Stars is giving Mark Huseman, the second base umpire, what his thought was on the play. That will bring up the designated hitter, number 34, Jack Pauly. I actually thought it was a good call. Looked like he slid in safely before he was tagged. Count is 1 ball. That one at 85-mile-an-hour fastball, but missing high for ball 1. Runners at second and third with 2 down. Here in the top half of the 7th, that one missing inside and high for ball 2. Paulie got a base hit his last time out and an RBI. Also scored a run. That one fouled off. So the count goes to 2 balls, 1 strike. Strash at third base, Grant at second. Here on August the 9th on a Friday night. That one lifted foul to the right-hand side or the first base side. So that will even up the count now at 2 balls, 2 strikes with 2 runners on base and 2 down here in the top half of the 7th inning. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss there by Paulie. So that ends the top half of the 7th inning. At the end of 6.5, it is the Studs 7 and the Stars 4. And you're listening to the NBC World Series live stream presented by Park City, Kansas. Visit Park City's website at parkcityks.com, and we'll be right back.
Neck pain, back pain, all kinds of sprains. If your knee replacement aches when it starts to rain, at Advanced Physical Therapy, we treat that. At Advanced Physical Therapy, we treat that. Concussions, arthritis, carpal tunnel, tooth, fibromyalgia, Parkinson's, we've got the treatment for you. At Advanced Physical Therapy, we treat that. At Advanced Physical Therapy, we treat that. One-on-one sessions with a personal touch. Ask our thousands of patients why they love us so much. At Advanced Physical Therapy, we treat that. At Advanced Physical Therapy, we treat that.
And we welcome you back as we go to the bottom half of the 7th inning. The score is 7-4 in favor of the Seattle Studs. And we do know that the point streak is off. There it is. It is now corrected. There was some point streak's a very funny thing. The way you have to put in every single thing, and it will not allow you to go to the next item until you correct it. But anyway, they finally did get corrected. I went out there to check with them. And she says, yes, that there were some things that they had to punch in first before they could punch in the score. So anyway, it is now up to date. We hope that we do appreciate your comments. And once again, we are in the bottom half of the 7th inning. The score 7-4. Ball hit into center field by Abbott Van Til, as he records his first hit of the ball game here in the bottom half of the 7th inning. But we do appreciate your comments once again, and we know that you're paying attention. That's great. It is a great ball game here between these two teams. Once again, the winner of this game will move on into the championship game tomorrow evening at 7 o'clock, as they will be facing the Cheney, Kansas Diamond Dogs. Up now is Joey Krug. That one is fouled off to the third base side. His count is no balls and 1 strike. Van Til just reached on a base hit. So he's standing at first, but throw over to first base and not in time. Ball hits the third baseman. Third baseman Wolf goes to second and then over to first for the double play. What a great play there by Wolf as he threw over to second base. Strash covering, and Strash made the turn to Butnick for the double play. That's going to bring up the designated hitter, number 19, Dallas Seidel. So it is a 5-4, 5-4-3. And now left-handed Seidel in there. Strike one is called. That was a 90-mile-an-hour fastball by Xander Klaus. That one is fouled off by Slidell, so he goes down. No balls to 2 strikes. As we are in the bottom half of the 7th inning. Score 7-4 in favor of the Studs. That one fouled off by Seidel. And now the Seattle Stud fans clapping in unison as they want the 3rd out and the 3rd strike. That one just missing outside for ball 1. That was an 89-mile-an-hour fastball. Once again, just missed the corner. So the count will go to 1 ball and 2 strikes. Nice job there by home plate umpire Josh Shepis. As I could see it, it looked like it was outside. The ball hit to the second baseman, and there's going to be a base hit there by Slidell. As Strash came in and was not able to make the play. He did throw over to first base, but didn't have much of a throw behind it. So a base hit there by Slidell as he records his 2nd hit in a row now, as he is 2 for 3. I would bring up the second baseman, number 33, Brady Jocelyn. First pitch at 74 miles an hour misses for ball 1. That one fouled off by Jocelyn. Jocelyn recorded a double his last time. So he is 2 for 3. That one calls strike 2. 78 miles an hour. And the count now goes to 1 ball, 2 strikes. Runner on at first base with 2 down here in the bottom half of the 7th inning. 7-4 is the score. Studs over the Stars. There's a swing and a miss there by Jocelyn as he goes down swinging. So at the end of 7, it is the Seattle Studs 7 and the San Diego Stars 4. And you're listening to the NBC World Series live stream presented by Park City, Kansas. Visit Park City's website at parkcityks.com. We'll be right back.
The Kansas Humane Society is a community resource for pets and people dedicated to enhancing the welfare of all companion animals. We offer an array of services that promote the human and animal bond, including pet adoption, dog training, behavior consultation, pet supplies, outreach, spay and neuter, end-of-life services, field trips, and community outreach.
And we welcome you back as we go to the top half of the 8th inning. The score is 7-4 in favor of the Seattle Studs over the San Diego Stars. Ryan Skillman out on the mound for the Stars. First batter he'll be facing is here in the top half of the 8th is first baseman number 25, Ryan Butnick. That one, ball 1, as that was an 82 mile an hour by Skillman. here's Skillman's pitch. Ball hit to the left-hand side, and that will even up the count now at 1 strike. And Michael Cruz says, this is nice YouTube. Thanks. He can sit in his AC. Well, we'd like to thank our technician, Chris Worrell, for that. He's the one that does all the hard work. All we do is show up and have a couple notes, something to talk about. But he sets everything up, camera and microphones and everything. So we do appreciate that. And he has done a fine job here in the 85th National Baseball Congress World Series, powered by Westar Energy. So you need to thank him. Otherwise, these broadcasts may not be on. The count goes to 2 balls, 2 strikes. And we will be bringing the championship game to you tomorrow night. I'll be on with that ball hit into deep center field as the center fielder Yetta backs up, makes the catch for out number 1. Anthony Gorgeous will be on, and I'll be his color commentator tomorrow. He'll be bringing the play-by-play for you as we live stream that, but we do it through 93.9 KGSO. So we will be bringing that to you tomorrow. Now batting will be the catcher, number 26, Brock Gagliardi. Gagliardi walked his last time up. He's looking for his first hit here tonight. Ball hit to the Jocelyn at second base. And he goes to first for out number 2. So a 4-3 put out for the second out here in the top half of the 8th inning. Bring up the right fielder, number 3, Henry Cheney. Once again, we are in the top half of the 8th inning. 7-4. Cheney walked his last time up. There's a pitch by Skillman at 74 miles an hour, missing outside for ball 1. Breaking ball missing inside for ball 2. So that gets away from catcher. So now the count is 2 balls, no strikes, as we do have 2 down here in the top half of the 8th inning. Ryan Skillman on the mound. That one missing low for ball 3. That one a fastball at 84 miles an hour. And here's the pitch by Skillman. That one missing low for ball 4. So Henry walks for his second time in a row now, as he walked the last time and was left stranded at first base. That will bring up the left fielder, number 6, Kyle Bowe. Bowe struck out in the second inning, grounded out to the shortstop in the 4th, got a base hit in the 5th inning, and then flew out to right field in the 6th inning to make the 3rd out. First pitch to him is strike 1. So no balls, 1 strike with the runner on at first and 2 down here in the top half of the 8th. That one missing high for ball 1 at 73 miles an hour. There is 2 pitchers warming up out for San Diego. See if I can catch a number for you. Number 48, the right-hander. Count is 2 balls, 1 strike. Ball is fouled off by Kyle Bowe. Sorry, but I'm still trying to get a number out there. 2-2 now the count to Kyle Bowl as there's a runner on at first base. 2 down. That one missing for ball 3, so the count goes full. That pitch with 75 miles an hour. So the count is full now at 3-2. Runner on at first base. He'll be taken off on the pitch as there is 2 down. That is Henry Cheney. And there he goes. That one missing high for ball 4. So 2 walks in a row now by Ryan Skillman. And here comes Coach. It looks like we are going to have a pitching change. While we do that, we're going to take a small break, and I'll be right back. All right, we welcome you back, and getting hit there is R.J. Green. And it looks like we have that new pitcher is Lewis for San Diego. That would be number 9, Clayton Lewis. A left-handed thrower from Santee, California. It's a 6-foot, 200-pounder. It's a Stars veteran. So now the bases will be loaded as Green gets hit by a pitch. That'll move Cheney to third base and Kyle Bowl to second. And I'll give you the final numbers on. Actually, let me get Lewis in the books first. That ball hit hard to the left field. That's going to fall in for a base hit. 1 run will score as Cheney comes in. And stopping at third base is Bow. Moving over to second base is Green. And Strash records his 3rd hit of the ball game. And an RBI. So now the score 8-4 in favor of Seattle. Here in the top half of the 8th inning. That will bring up the shortstop, number 5, Gavin Grant. So Clayton Lewis now in on relief. And I'll give you the final numbers on Skillman as he went 1 2/3 innings. Gave up 1 run on 1 earned run. Had 4 base on balls, 1 strikeout, and as he faced 9 batters. But the base runners on. Actually, Cheney and Bowe will be credited to Skillman if they do score. That one is ball 4, so Grant now will be on at first. Moving over to second base will be Strash. Moving to third base will be Green, and scoring from third base coming into home will be Kyle Bowe, as the Seattle Studs have scored 2 more runs here in the top half of the 8th inning. And that takes the score now to 9-4. And we do have a new pitcher coming in. For the San Diego Stars. Looks like it's going to be number 15 now coming in. And it'll be Jeremiah Willie. He's a right-handed thrower from San Diego, California, 6'3", 180-pounder. He is a free agent. So number 15 now coming in, Jeremiah Willie. And we're going to take a break while he warms up, and we'll be right back. All right, Jeremiah Willie now on pitching for the San Diego Stars. First batter he'll be facing will be the third baseman, number 28, Colin Wolf. Once again, bases are loaded. With Green on at third base. Ball hit the right-hand side. Actually, it's going to be foul. So count is no balls and 1 strike. Green on at third base. Strash is on at second, and Grant on at first base. And here's Willie's delivery. That one, a breaking ball at 66 miles an hour for strike number 2, as the first one was fouled off. So no balls, 2 strikes to Colin Wolf. That one hit to the third baseman. Third baseman touches third base for the force out, but not before. The Studs scored 2 runs. So at the end of 7.5 innings of play, it is the Studs 9 and the Stars 4. And you're listening to the NBC World Series live stream presented by Park City, Kansas. Visit Park City's website at parkcityks.com. We'll be right back.
Man, this is serious business. You got to have an appetite for this kind of thing. You got to have a hunger to succeed.
Side effects may include hilarity, laughter, smiles, childlike behavior, lots of good feelings, and making of a lifelong friend.
Mentoring. It's easier than you think and serious fun. Change the game.
And we welcome you back here for the 85th National Baseball Congress World Series, powered by West Star Energy. As we go to the bottom half of the 8th inning, the score now 9-4 in favor of the Studs over the Stars. And Xander Klaus getting to work his third inning of work as he's gone 2 1/3 innings. That one called strike at 86 miles an hour. That will take the count to 1-1 strike. Once again, the batter, Jesse Jenner, the first baseman for the San Diego Stars. That is fouled off by Jenner. And that will take the count now to 1-2 strikes. Count is 1-2 strikes. As Klaus is ready to go. That one missing high for ball 2. That was a breaking ball at 74 miles an hour. So that will even up the count now at 2-2 strikes. That one hit right back to the pitcher. Oh, what a great play there by Klaus. As that ball hit in front of home plate and bounced up, and Klaus jumps up as high as he could and one-hands it and goes to first base for the out. What a super play there by Xander Klaus. Klaus standing at 6'2", and he almost doubled that. It seemed like it was just a great play. So 1-3 is the put out. And I'll bring up the catcher, number 13, Luke Arias. I agree with you. I need a replay on that one, too. That was a great play. That one missing for ball 1. That was a 90, Christian, ball 2. That was a 90-mile-an-hour fastball there by Xander Klaus. As the count goes to 2-1 strike. 2-2 now the count. That one at 77 miles an hour. And Luke Arias is asking for some Stickum. As he went swinging there, and I must have felt that the bat was coming out of his hands there. As he swung at strike number 2. There's a swing and a miss there by Arias for out number 2. So now batting will be the left fielder, number 20, Ryan Cope for the Stars. As we are in the bottom half of the 8th inning, the score 9-4 in favor of the Seattle Studs. Once again, the winner of this game will move on into the championship game tomorrow evening at 7 o'clock. There's call strike 1, 91 mile an hour by Xander Klaus. That last play seemed to fire him up as he's now rearing back. And there's another play that's going to go to the shortstop. Shortstop goes over to first. That's Grant to Butnick for out number 3. So we have played 8 innings of play, and the score is the Studs 9 and the Stars 4. And you're listening to the NBC World Series live stream presented by Park City, Kansas. Visit Park City's website at parkcityks.com. We'll be right back.
I'm Terry Bradshaw. Like many of you, I took the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge back in 2014. My man Pat Quinn here, well, he's one of the founders.
Thanks to all of you who took the challenge.
ALS is a nasty disease with no cure. It robs a person of their ability to walk, talk, and breathe. Since the Ice Bucket Challenge, we've discovered new ALS genes and potential treatments. If we can cure ALS, we can cure anything. Please join me and Pat in the fight against ALS.
And we welcome you back as we go to the top half of the ninth inning. To score, the Seattle Washington Studs 9 and the San Diego California Stars 4. All 4 runs by the Stars were scored in the bottom half of the fifth inning. Leading off for the Studs, designated hitter number 34. Jack Pauley, that ball hit to the second baseman. Jocelyn goes to first for out number 1. So a 4-3 put out to start off the ninth inning, as there is now 1 down. That will bring up the first baseman, number 25, Ryan Butnick. Nine to 4 is the score. So far, the line reads like this. The Seattle Studs, 9 runs on 10 hits, no errors. And for the San Diego Stars, 4 runs on 9 hits, but they have 4 errors. That one calls strike 2. That was a breaking ball at 67 miles an hour. Wiley is ready for his pitch. There's another breaking ball. Swing and a miss there by Butnick as he goes down swinging for out number 2. That'll bring up catcher number 26, Brock Gagliardi. And here's the pitch by Wiley, missing outside for ball 1, 67 miles an hour. Call strike 1 at 80 mile an hour fastball by Wiley. That will take the count to 1-1. And here's the pitch. Breaking ball. That ball is lifted into center field. Pineda making a catch for out number 3. So the Studs go 1, 2, 3 in the top half of the ninth, and the score 9-4 favor the Studs. You're listening to the NBC World Series live stream presented by Park City, Kansas. Visit Park City's website at parkcityks.com. We'll be right back. And we welcome you back here to X Stadium for the 85th National Baseball Congress World Series, powered by Westar Energy, as we go to the bottom half of the ninth inning. And I'm joined by Josh Robertson, who's here in from Texas, as he joins us.
How you doing, Frank?
Real good, sir. Doing real good. First batter is Tristan Salinas. As we go to the bottom half of the ninth inning, the score is 9-4. How's things in Texas there, Josh?
Hot.
Hot, huh?
I mean, I'm in jeans. I thought I was coming into a blizzard. About 115 heat index, and literally driving home with the family, the temperature changed 11 degrees crossing the Texas-Oklahoma border.
There we go. I got you on now. Sorry about that. Count is now 3 balls and 1 strike to Tristan Salinas. Is this the first game you had a chance to watch? You just got in?
Yeah, yep. I was going to come last Sunday. Kevin Jinks was trying to get a lot of the old guard back here, but I had to be in Texas with the team, and they just went on the road for a 6-game road trip and literally drove in here and got here in the first inning of this game.
And you're the general manager up there in Texas, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Count is full at 3-2. Well, I know that we sure do miss you up here. You know, this is the first time that the NBC has not been done at Lawrence Dumont Stadium, and we're here at X Stadium, so I know this is different for you. That's going to be ball 4 there for Tristan Salinas as he will go to first base. And that will bring up the center fielder, number 1, Kyle Pineda. As we have 1 runner on first base now with no outs. Once again, the score 9-4. And now the coach for the Stars is going over to first base. I'm not exactly sure what he's trying to tell him, but it's whatever it wasn't a secret because he yelled it across the diamond there. So here's the pitch. Xander Klaus in relief. And he has done a great job as he's gone 3 1/3 innings, has only given up 3 hits, 1 base on balls, 4 strikeouts as he has faced 13 batters. Here's a pitch by Klaus, missing high for ball 1. That was 73 miles an hour. So the count goes now to 1 ball, 1 strike. Are you going to be around for tomorrow for the?
Yeah. I'm gonna come out tomorrow. Didn't want to miss my streak of between player, coach, and administrator.
Yeah.
Like 30 consecutive years. So wanted to make sure I got out here, and obviously I've got a lot of history with Barry Aiden and the Studs if they do win this game, and Pat Hahn, the head coach of the Diamond Dogs, I coached him. I guess that's saying how old I am, and Mike Quick used to be an assistant coach for me. So a lot of ties. Well, and I mean, Mickey D down there. I played for the or for the San Diego Stars in 1998. So, there's just so much history in this tournament.
Yeah, I remember that you were catching, right, at that time?
That was the year we knocked Team USA out of the tournament.
Yeah. The count is 2 balls, 2 strikes. Well, I know that your family, you're separated from your family while you're down there in Texas, but they do go down and visit you quite a bit. And I love seeing the pictures of the girls. They just seem to be having a great time when they're down there.
Yeah, it was. I mean, we got Brent Cleveland, who managed the Wingnuts last year, and John Rodriguez, a former player of ours, my hitting coach, and about 5 or 6 of the players off last year's team. So.
There's a ball hit to the shortstop. Shortstop is going to go to first base. That's Grant to Butnick for out number 1. Moving over to second base on the place is Tristan Salinas. And that will bring up the right fielder, number 17, Cabot Van Til.
As well as Denning Garrick, who did our radio for us last year. So I got some Wichita family, in Texas with me, but it's always nice when the wife and the girls come down and see me. They've been down there 3 or 4 times, and they like it. Obviously, they don't like the heat.
Yeah, it's a lot different. I go down, not quite as far as where you're at. You're in
Cleburne.
Okay, and I go clear down to Harlingen, Texas, and it's way down south by Padre Island area. And boy, I can't stand it. After 9 o'clock, I don't want outside. You know, it's just
I'll tell
very,
you what,
very hot and humid.
We had a game the other night, and this last homestand we did the Gold Glove charities that we did here in Wichita for the kids with cancer, and we had a post-game country concert.
Yeah.
And just our staff getting out there and breaking down and everything. It was 94% humidity.
Yeah.
And we were just soaked.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We've had that humidity not quite that high, but like last night was 76%. To us, that's quite a bit. Count is now no balls, 2 strikes now to Van Til. That's fouled off by Van Til. So are you going to get a chance to bring your whole family tomorrow?
I'm going to see. They just spent 5 days watching minor league baseball. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But you know as well as I do,
the
the NBC is the NBC.
It is. It is.
You know, I wish everybody would come out and watch this. There's a call, strike 3 against Van Til. That was a 76-mile-an-hour pitch there by Xander Klaus, and now there is 2 down as Van Til goes down looking. And that will bring up the third baseman, number 11, Joey Krug. Well, the winner of this game, Josh, will play the Cheney, Kansas Diamond Dogs for the national championship tomorrow evening. There's a swing and a miss there by Krug as the count goes no balls, 1 strike.
Yeah, I was just talking with Michael Dean, and we were talking about past tournaments. The last time that there was a Kansas team in the championship was when the 2010 Liberal BJs beat the Seattle Studs in the championship game.
So 2010, I was going to say it had to have been about that time because I remember since 2010, it's either been the Studs or the Forsters winning,
much.
except for when the All-Stars were here with that year that they won. I think was 2017. Yeah. That one missing for Ball. So the count goes to 1 ball, no strikes. That was a 91-mile-an-hour fastball by Klaus. And he has come in to do a really great job for the Studs. Here's the pitch. That one, check swing. Call strike 3 for out number 3, and that is the ball game with the final score. It is the Seattle Washington Studs 9 and the San Diego, California Stars 4. Well, Josh, I want to thank you very much for joining us here tonight. We appreciate all our viewers. Don't forget, tomorrow evening, it will be the championship game, and it will feature the Seattle Washington Studs versus the Cheney, Kansas Diamond Dogs. That game will start at 7 o'clock tomorrow. Josh, thanks for joining us, and we hope to see you tomorrow. I'll have that call along with Anthony Gorgeous. We'll be doing the play-by-play. We'll be doing that on KGSO.
And thank you for having me. It's good to be home.
And once again, thanks to Chris Worrell, our technician, who brings these games to you. And all you fans for joining us. Once again, you've been listening to the NBC World Series live stream presented by Park City, Kansas. Visit Park City's website at parkcityks.com. Once again, tomorrow's championship starts at 7 o'clock between the Seattle Washington Studs and the Cheney, Kansas Diamond Dogs. We'll see you tomorrow night. This is Frank Martinez wishing you a good night.